This Virginia tribute band has been paying tribute to this famous rock band for 25 years. Next on That Tribute Band Show. Hello and welcome back to another episode of That Tribute Band Show. I am your host, and today is episode 3, and we are hanging out with Chris Brown, otherwise known as Blaxel Rose, from the Guns N' Roses tribute, Rocket Queen. How's it going, man?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So you guys are from the Richmond, Virginia area, or surrounding areas, I should say.
Yep, for the most part. Born and raised.
Are any of the other members from outside the area, or are they pretty much in Richmond?
Um, Duff One, who's back in the band, he's from Nova, but he's been in Richmond for a while. I think he lives in Charlottesville right now. And Slash Three, who's our Slash now for the last 20 years, he's originally from Blacksburg, lived in Charlottesville because he went to UVA. Now he lives in North Carolina, but he just drives up for shows when we do them.
Gotcha. So obviously you're Blaxel Rose and the rest of the guys. How long have you guys been doing this tribute together?
October will be our 25th year.
Wow. That's a long time to be doing a tribute band, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So do you guys normally play, do you stick to like the Richmond, Virginia area, or do you branch out regionally in Virginia, or have you gone out of state? Like where all have you guys played before?
Let's see, where's the farthest? Probably the farthest we played was Pennsylvania. We opened for a bunch of comedians that are on the Howard Stern show, and we we opened for them at a hotel. That was in Pennsylvania. That's probably the farthest we've been playing wise. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Oh, about 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. So what are some of your influences? Obviously, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses. Like I'm actually a guitar player. That's what my degree's in. Never played guitar in a band before, which is kind of weird. Uh, I'm a big Zeppelin person. I love the Police. I love Prince. I'd love to do a Prince tribute at some point.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's my ultimate goal right
That's
now. To
that's
do that.
that's a band that's definitely going to take a lot of time and effort and a lot of parts moving in that band.
Yes. So that is my dream. Cupcake in the Revolution. That's what it becomes.
That's awesome.
that, that is my Cupcake's my other nickname. I
So
got that before Black. So
speaking of guitar playing, you're actually a guitar teacher, correct?
yes. I've been teaching guitar for 23 years now. Been playing for 33. I was actually a trained classical guitarist. That's why I have nails.
Oh wow.
But when you teach, you got to learn how to play everything. So
That's right.
I
So
spend my
do you
life
have a
doing
lot of
it.
students?
About 32 right now.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's my main job.
So they definitely
Like,
keeping you busy. Are they rages from like um, youngins all the way up to older people?
yeah, right now my youngest is 6, and my oldest is in his 70s.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so have you ever met anybody from Guns N' Roses or had any feedback on your own tribute from the band at some point?
Yes, actually, I have. Um, Izzy 3. um, he was in a band called Ragdoll, and their lead singer was a singer in Slash's Snake Pits.
Oh, okay.
And this guy, Jason Newcomb, I don't know if you've met him before.
Uh,
Uh,
Name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've met him.
yeah, yeah. So he was in the band for a little bit. And he went to California to hang out with Rod, who was the lead singer at Snake Pit. And he showed Slash video of Rocket Queen. Slash thought it was awesome.
Oh, that's
So,
pretty cool. And I'm guessing you probably have not gotten a cease and desist from the band on anything that you guys have done.
not yet, no. I think we're small enough to not be bothered by Axel.
Have you seen Guns N' Roses perform before?
Yeah, I saw them in '91 at Hampton Coliseum, which was an awesome show.
That was the Skid Row tour.
Yeah, so Skid Row opened up. It's quite a pit. That was like my first pit ever because
Was
that was
Axel
my eighth birthday.
was Axel
Yeah,
late to that gig?
yes, he was about 2 hours ish.
So they broke curfew that night, right?
Yes, I did. Because we got home about 3
Wow.
in the morning. Got in the venue around 6. So Skid Row was on time though. They were very thoughtful.
Yeah. They're trying to set a good example.
They were good.
How well received are you guys from the venues and all the Guns N' Roses fans?
I think we're pretty well received. I honestly, I wonder if we've actually been a band longer than Guns N' Roses, counting all their breakups. we might, we might have them beat. Honestly, I don't really consider the one that's out there now Guns N' Roses because it's not Guns N' Roses without Izzy.
You know,
Yeah,
and speaking of that, I was going to ask. I don't feel like it's Guns N' Roses without Steven.
yeah, that's
Steven, I've been waiting to see Guns N' Roses with Steven, and it hasn't happened yet. I think he did play a couple of shows with them several years back, I believe, before COVID. And I can't remember where he was, but I think he played maybe 3 songs with them, a couple of shows that they did. And I think I've seen him on YouTube or something, but that would be a dream of mine to see the original 5 guys with Izzy and Steven.
Yeah, I almost did because I took one of my students, Justin, not a student anymore because he's like old and has a family now. But that's when he was about 17 or so. We went to see their induction at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I got to see that.
Oh, wow.
And Steven was playing that.
What year was that?
Jeez. A long time ago. Huh. Time escapes me. But yeah.
I bet that was a cool experience.
That was a very cool experience. I know Axel wasn't there. I don't think Izzy was there either. But I've seen all the original members at some point.
That's awesome.
Because Steven was playing that night.
So, have you ever sold out a venue of any size? And what's the biggest crowd you think you've played to?
Probably the biggest crowd is probably the Chili Cook-Offs.
I remember those days.
Yeah. I won't, make a big guess about how many thousands of people. There are definitely thousands of people there. My favorite sellout was at Twisters, and there was a line around the whole building, and that was pretty cool to see. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, I miss Twisters.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool show. We broke fire code for that one because there were 600 people in there for that one.
For those of you that are watching, if you're familiar with the old school Richmond, Virginia scene, we had some pretty cool venues and pretty cool things happening back in the day here in Richmond. But now it seems like they're kind of falling off.
Yeah. At least in that scene, it's mostly house shows. That seems to be the big thing now.
And
I think they can't.
there's also a ton of tribute bands coming through here, which I'm excited about. There's been Guns N' Roses tribute bands. We've actually I'm in a tribute band, the ACDC tribute for those about to rock. We have played with Night Train. We played with Completely Unchained, which is the Van Halen tribute. They're from New York area, I think, up that way, and they have Zoltan Chaney playing drums with them now, and
Oh,
he is just. I get tired trying to watch him play. It's just ridiculous.
yeah.
We got Eagles tributes coming through here, Fleetwood Mac, Metallica tributes, Iron Maiden tributes. I mean, it's just all over the place coming through here. Tom Petty tributes. I think we actually have two. At one point, we had two Tom Petty tributes here in Richmond.
Yeah. Actually, one of my friends who went to VCU with me, his guitar program, he plays in a Tom Petty tribute. I think Full Moon Fever. I think
Yeah,
that's
I've
the
heard of
thing.
them.
Yeah. So he plays for them. And
Um, let's see here.
I,
Now, as I was mentioning a while ago, with the amount of tributes that are going around the country, there's so many of them. There's a lot of Guns N' Roses tributes, and there seems to be some competition as far as bookings is concerned. Like getting into certain venues, there may be a Guns N' Roses tribute that's exclusive to a certain venue. Do you guys have any issues like that if you're playing out of town, getting venues or getting shows at venues that already have a Guns N' Roses tribute there?
no, usually the only time we play a gig is if someone asks us. That's kind of how that's where we are right now. So someone will call us up and we'll be like, oh, okay, we'll do
So do you guys use any production, stage props or anything? I don't
it.
recall Guns N' Roses having a whole lot of stage props.
No, in the beginning, we had three dancers. We're just our friends who would come to shows anyway, and they're like, let's dance. And I was like, okay. So we had dancers. We had one of our friends play congos for two shows. So we had a conga player for a little while. We had our own dizzy. And yeah, so we keep it simple.
Right on. That's the easiest way to do it. You don't
Yeah,
have to
the
lug all that
wigs,
extra crap around.
yeah, the wigs are plenty.
So, in your honest opinion, what do you think? What does it take to make a great tribute band?
Since most of us were music majors, we were really picky about having everything be as note for note perfect as possible. Because I know a lot of people would come to the show just for like the gimmick of a Blaxel Rose,
Right.
but I wanted people to stay because we sounded so good. And I've always been super picky about that. Like, we don't mess around with that. I want it to be note for note as best as possible
If I
as you
recall,
can
you
get it.
guys are pretty dead on because I'm the same way. When I go to see a tribute band or even cover bands, I'm like, this. I will pick your parts apart all day long if they're not right. Oh, that bass
Yeah.
line's wrong, or that drum beat's wrong, or you got too many kick drum hits on that one part. But from what I recall, you guys are pretty dead on. I might have to revisit some of those YouTube videos.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how drunk they were. But yeah, I'm a stickler. You know, if you watch me play or watch me on stage, you'll notice me giving dirty looks all the time. That's because there's a wrong note. I'm I'm like the James Brown of the band. So yeah, and since I know how to play all the stuff too, I'm really particular about it. And I've had to teach all these songs a million times, so it's like I know what it is. I know if there's a right note or a wrong note.
With me being a drummer, not too familiar. Well, I am somewhat familiar with the tunings of guitars. Do you guys play in the same tuning that Guns N' Roses did?
Yep, half step down. Yeah, we do. Got to keep it accurate.
Right on. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you got to do it as close as you can.
hmm Yeah,
Uh,
I'm picky about that too. Just everybody being in tune.
yeah.
I can't stand out of tune anything. That's why I hate karaoke.
It's been a long time since I've done karaoke, and you got to be pretty intoxicated to do that.
Yeah, you see, I'm straight edge, so karaoke has never been that much fun for me.
Yeah. What Guns N' Roses song is your favorite to play?
Probably Rocket Queen. I love that song.
That's one of
I
my
like it.
favorite songs of theirs of all time. Just the way that first blah, duh, da, do, do, da, comes in at the beginning.
hmm
Steven, he just his moves through that whole song, just the way he makes that song sound between him and Duff, just laying down that foundation. It's just one of those songs that gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. Like that intro, and then Slash has got his feedback coming in at the beginning. It's just pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. Because it's the last song on the album. Usually, the last songs are like the worst. But
They
that's
just
a
put those
rare
on there
album
for
where like,
fillers.
yeah, that's a rare album where like almost every song is great, and you can kind of tell to me, like from the beginning to the end, they're just becoming a better and better band by song. And Rocket Queen is just like the song that it sounds like they put the most effort into,
Right.
like all the different parts and everything moving in and out. And it has Axel having sex with Steven's girlfriend in it. You know, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
And so that's a great story.
uh, do you have any like favorite tribute bands that you listen to besides Rocket Queen? They could go national,
Uh,
international. I mean, there's some great ones out there.
I mean, probably the most fun I've ever seen is Steel Panther. I guess they count.
You know
I've
they're
seen
coming
them
to
a couple
Richmond
times.
too, real soon.
I, I know they are. I got too much homework to go.
Yeah, I discovered them on YouTube several years back, and I don't know if you're a big fan of Michael Starr and Satchel, you'll know that they were
Yeah.
in a Van Halen tribute years ago called Atomic Punks. And I saw them play one time on YouTube, and I think Michael Anthony played bass with them on a show. I was like, this guy sounds just like David Lee Roth. It's just unreal how much he sounds like him. And then to have Satchel play with him is just ridiculous. I might have to try to figure out a way to go to that show.
Yeah, they're good. Uh, I like them so much because they're kind of like Rocket Queen. We're kind of like a comedy show,
Yeah,
but we sound really good,
right.
and that's what they are too. They're a
Yep,
comedy act,
yep,
but they nail everything perfectly.
yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Have you ever played any national gigs like with a big time metal band, like on the same bill at the same show?
Let's see. We opened for D. Snyder at that's probably our first big one. Yeah, we opened for D. Snyder at Innsbruck After
I was
Hours.
at that show.
Okay, yeah, that was like our
Was
first
that when he did
big.
the SMFs?
Yeah,
It was.
because yeah, that's kind of the history of Rocket Queen is just weird things falling in our lap. Like somebody called his show when he had the radio show and said, "Hey, you should check out this band Rocket Queen. They got this guy named Blaxel Rose." So then when he was in Richmond, we came and met him. I think at like Bill Tally Ford or something. And then he was like, "Hey, you want to open for us at Innsbruck?" And I was like, "Sure." And like the next day, we were opening for D. Snyder.
That's pretty awesome. I'm starting to have flashbacks because I was actually the morning show producer of D. Snyder Radio when it was here in Richmond for a really
Oh,
short
well,
period of time. That's how I got to get into all these cool, like, extra gigs with all these 80s rockers that were coming, making their resurfacing back in the 2000s. It's pretty,
yeah.
it was a pretty fun time.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And let's see, we opened for Buck Cherry and at Twisters actually, and they hated us. Jerry Bird, God rest his soul. He was the owner, and he paid us, but he didn't pay them because at that time, this is before All Lit Up came out, so nobody really knew who they were.
Right.
So he had us open up for them so people would come to the show. After we were done, everybody left. So the only people left were like their PR people and us. So they were pretty angry about that, being in Richmond, playing to like 7 people. That was fun. Lead singer made fun of us on stage. So that was cool.
Oh. Not
Yeah,
cool, man. Not cool.
Yeah, you know. And yeah, I've never seen so many guitars in all my life at Twisters. If anybody's ever been there, it's tiny-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a whole rig of guitars, like a back line of guitars across the whole stage. So there's like 20 guitars on stage. It was ridiculous.
In case they break a string or
okay.
2 or 3.
Yeah, or 7. We got to play on Elliot in the morning. That was pretty cool. And then that same day, we played his non-denominational Christmas party. And that was a fluke too. My friend Eric just called up the show one day and said, "Hey, Elliot, you should have Blacksell play at your thing." And then within a few days, we were driving up to DC, and then we were playing there at like 5 in the morning. Play Sweet Child of Mine. And then we did his show.
That's pretty awesome. Elliot's a cool guy. I hung out with him a couple times too.
Yeah. Probably the coolest thing we've done is the MTV thing. And they didn't pay us for that, but for the Video Music Awards, there's a program, and every year there's a theme, and that year's theme was tribute bands. So they had all these tribute bands come up to New York and spend a couple of days getting pictures taken. So we're in that program for the Video Music Awards, and ironically, that is the year that Guns N' Roses played the Video Music Awards.
Oh, wow.
So Axl has a book with me in it, pretending to be him somewhere.
Was that before or after the days of Ricky Rackman?
Probably after. I'm trying to think what year that was. I think that was 2000, 2001-ish.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Do you have any other musical projects? Obviously, you're a guitar teacher, but when you're not in Rocket Queen, do you do anything other than that?
My dream Prince band. That's right now. Right now, I'm trying to learn Prince songs, among other things. I'm kind of on a Van Halen kick right now, so I've been learning a bunch of Van Halen stuff.
Right on.
Um,
Sammy or Dave?
That's actually a tough one for me. Musically, I think Eddie actually has more interesting stuff during the Sammy years than the Dave years, but I think the songs are better during the Dave years.
To me, I think that, and this is a topic that goes back and forth amongst musicians. For me, the Dave era stuff was the fun, like party stuff. Then when they got to Sammy, they kind of like graduated from all that party stuff, and they got a little bit, not necessarily more technical, but they kind of grew up a little bit, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh no.
And more advanced playing, and just their song structure changed a bit, and got a little bit more mature than it was back when David Lee Roth.
Yeah, it wasn't. Every song wasn't like a swing. Yeah. With that fast 6/8, 12/8 thing. Also, one thing I noticed with Van Halen is once Sammy joined the band, songs about love were actually a good thing.
Yeah.
I guess they were happier.
What's something that you do to prepare yourselves right before you walk out on stage to blast out a set? Any kind of pre-show rituals that you do?
I never cut my hair before a gig. That's good because back in the day, every time I cut my hair, I'd have a bad gig. So I never cut my hair before a gig.
Oh
So it's
wow.
kind of right now. I'm going to get a cut this week because I just had a gig. Uh, so that's the rule. It has to be a 2 week span. I'm weird like that. And I used to do vocal warm ups a lot. Now, what I actually do is I will sing the entire set the night before just to kind of get my voice ready. And that makes it a lot easier.
Kind of like a rehearsal before. You don't do anything the day of, but just the night before is better for you.
Yeah, so I just go through the whole set, which takes a while, but I'll do it. Just remind the vocal cords of what they're supposed to do.
Right. What would you
Lots,
say?
lots.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Oh, just lots of room temperature water. That's the key to vocal success.
Would you say that you drink like cool stuff, or do you like to keep the warm liquids going?
No, you should keep. I should drink warmer things. Well, at least room temperature, because the cold kind of ruins your vocal cords, tightens them up. So I try to nothing cold.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard actually some past DJs that I worked with at the radio station told me the same thing. They said that uh, it's better for your voice to keep everything warm, so you keep everything open and flowing a lot easier than cool, because the cold
Yeah,
is just going to swell it up.
yeah, yeah. That's a muscle, so you gotta keep it nice and warm and happy.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the up and coming tributes, people who are thinking of starting a tribute band? Any words of wisdom? Don't do it.
Let's see. I have lots of words of wisdom. First of all, take the music part seriously, but don't take the rest of it seriously. Yeah, people are there to have a good time, but they also, give the music its justice. Um, Never tell people how much you'll play for. Always let them tell you how much they're going to give you. And then you can negotiate from there. Try to stay sober. Try to have as many sober people in your band as possible. I've learned that the hard way. And if you're playing a radio gig, don't lock your wig in the car. So that happened to me at Shamrock the Block.
Ugh.
And my parents had to come down to Shaka Bottom with an extra set of keys and unlock my car and throw my wig at it. So,
Good times.
yes, it's always something.
So, besides that, is there anything that you want to say to all the Guns N' Roses fans out there watching, or any of the Rocket Queen fans?
We love you all. Thank you for making my life so much better. I mean, the reason I started Rocket Cleaner is because I just wanted to hang out with my friends. And I've been able to hang out with my friends for the last 25 years now. Because the older you get, the less chances you have, the less excuses you have to hang out with people. And every time there's a Rocket Clean show, there's people that I've known since, some of them since I was 5 years old. And like our drummer Mark, he's been my friend since I was 10. And I've known everybody else since I was like 18 and 20. So it's family. And that's why I do it. It's just fun. It's a fun way to hang out with my friends and make new ones.
That's awesome. Are there any videos and links and stuff online that we can share to our viewers that they could check out Rocket Queen and perhaps catch you guys in Richmond or perhaps somewhere else?
Um, right now, if you go on YouTube and put in Rocket Queen Sharkies, you should be able to get a full show from us playing Sharkies about 20 years ago. That's a pretty good one. We actually have some footage that we're working on now from the last few shows we've done. Our Izzy is like Izzy number 7 now. He's working on it now. So that should be up soon. My goal this year is to have an Instagram and a Facebook because I'm kind of lazy about that. So we have a whole lot of pictures and a whole lot of videos to dump. So look out for that. And as far as shows go, we're working on it. Slash just had a baby, so it's kind of hard to get him to leave North Carolina to do anything right now. As the baby is, I guess, 3 or 4 months old now. So this is his first kid. So.
Been there, done that. I know how that is.
Yeah, so
it's tough when you got a newborn and you're trying to juggle band projects and stuff.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's the big thing. They don't want to get the baby sick. So I'm like, okay, that's fine.
So any links that we can find online, I'll definitely leave them down in the description. But I would like to thank Chris Brown, Laxel Rose for joining me on That Tribute Band Show. Episode number 3 in the books. Can't believe it's been 3 weeks already. But we hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.
Cool. Thanks.